This is your boy Sean Bishop, and I'm here. As you know, I haven't been here for a while, but I'm here to host and let you know about Thursday night football between the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. Hi everyone, how y'all doing today? I know it's been a minute since y'all heard from me, seen me, and things of that nature, but I'm back. It's your boy Sean Bishop here, back with Thursday night football in week 11 as the Carolina Panthers go to visit the New Orleans Saints for week 11 in the NFL. But first, before we get into my prediction of tonight's game between the Saints and the Panthers, let me first give a shout out to those semifinalists of the Pro NFL Hall of Fame class of 2017. They announced today, earlier this morning, on Thursday, the semifinalists for the Pro NFL Hall of Fame. And let me just give a shout out to those people, those NFL players who are well deserved of that semifinal list. First, we have Kurt Warner, the quarterback for the LA Rams, who came out of of course, a lot of people don't know, but some people do know that he came out of the Arena League, came into the NFL, and had a great impact in the NFL. Got a Super Bowl ring with Marshall Faulk. Came up short a year or two later, but he's one of the semifinalists. Of course, then we have Terrell Davis for the Denver Broncos, who was one of the great running backs for the Denver Broncos, a great athlete, a great downhill runner. So he I believe got 2 Super Bowls, so well deserved during his tenure in Denver. So hats off to Terrell Davis. Then we have Terrell Owens, who played with the San Francisco 49ers. He also played with my beloved Eagles. He also played for the Baltimore Ravens. He also played with the Dallas Cowboys. He had a few teams in which he played with. A lot of people say, he says he still has some left in the tank to still play. But now that he's a semifinalist for the Hall of Fame, I'm sure he's probably gonna go ahead and hang his cleats up for good at this point. Then moving on from Terrell Owens, then we have LaDainian Tomlinson, who did the nice little flick of the ball like he normally used to do once he got in the end zone. LaDainian Tomlinson, what a great back in LaDainian Tomlinson. He's a semifinalist as well, so hats off to him, to LaDainian Tomlinson. And then we have, of course, one of the best defensive ends in the league, Jason Taylor, who played with Miami Dolphins, who also played with the Atlanta Falcons. And Jason Taylor is well deserved of that semifinalist tag, because he definitely had an impact in the NFL. So hats off to Jason Taylor. And then another one of my favorites, of course, because of why he's a favorite. He's a Philadelphia Eagle. It's that man back in the back of the defense, that head-hunting, hard-hitting Brian Hitman Dawkins. My hat's off, and I salute Brian Dawkins, of course, for making the semifinal list of the class of 2017 for the Hall of Fame. Definitely well deserved for Brian Dawkins. And then there are a lot of other people, just to name a few. There's Tony Baselli, Isaac Bruce, Ty Law, John Lynch, Clay Matthews. We got Hines Ward, well-deserved. Darren Woodson, of course. Adrian James, Joe Jacoby, Torrey Holt, great receiver. Craig Rogers, Isaac Bruce, another great receiver. Steve Atwater. So those are some of the finalists for the Pro NFL Hall of Fame for class of 2017. So again, my hat's off to each and every one of those that made the semifinal list for the Pro NFL Football Hall of Fame class of 2017. Good luck, gentlemen, in making that and receiving that gold coat for the NFL Hall of Fame. Well, moving on to this game between the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. Carolina, for those that's been following football all season, Carolina isn't the Carolina of last year. The Panthers aren't playing nowhere close to what they were playing last year. They look like they're coming up short. It looks like they just lost their swagger throughout this season. I don't know what's going on with the Carolina Panthers. Unfortunately, I don't think they know what's going on with the Carolina Panthers. But we do know at one point in time there was things in regards to, because of the fact that Cam Newton was taking a lot of hits, and a lot of people were questioning of the fact that is it because he's taking so many hits? Is that the reason why he's not being successful as he was last year? And that that raised a few eyebrows. That makes people question whether or not the Carolina Panthers can make it happen because of what's going on, because of what they have going on right now with in regards to Cam Newton. He's just not playing the type of ball in which you expect him to play. But again, this is Cam Newton. This is one of the reasons why people say Cam Newton. I guess the biggest thing that people been saying in regards to Cam Newton was the fact of the matter that he's not your typical quarterback. Cam Newton is 6'6", 6'7", and he's big like a defensive end, but he plays the quarterback position so well. It's just you hate to they say, well, it's like they got a special type of not playbook, but rule book, should I say, for Cam Newton, because he's not your typical size quarterback, because he's 6'7", 240, 250 or whatever. I don't believe in that. I believe that whatever call you call for any other quarterback in regards to flags, any flags in which you throw any other quarterback, you need to throw for Cam Newton as well. So they feel like Cam Newton is not getting the calls in which I won't say the Drew Breeses, but the Tom Brady's and the Peyton Mannings when he played, and those high stature type quarterbacks. They feel like Cam Newton isn't getting those type of calls, and they feel like he's not getting those calls, again, simply because of what I just stated, because they feel like he's not the prototypical quarterback in the NFL. And again, I disagree with that. An illegal hit is an illegal hit, no matter how you size it up. So y'all officials, get out there, throw them flags like you're supposed to. Well, the Panthers are on 3-6. They are 3-6. They blew a 17-point lead and had 2 fourth-quarter turnovers that allowed Kansas City to beat Carolina 20-17 last week. And New Orleans is 4-5, was primed to knock off the Denver Broncos, but instead of going ahead for an extra point kick, the boot was blocked and returned for a 2-point conversion, defensive conversion that resulted in the New Orleans Saints being set back 25-23 against the Broncos last week. So both teams are below 500 so far as we go into week 11, starting week 11 tonight. The Panthers, like I say, they're 3-6. New Orleans is 4-5. You got Drew Brees. He's out there in New Orleans trying to make impact out there like he's been doing for the past few years in New Orleans. This game could go either way. It really, really is. I just don't know. It could go either way because both of these teams are coming off losses. They're playing at the Bank of America Stadium. It's a late game. It's not a late game. The game comes on at 7 p.m. Eastern or Central Time. For those, I'm in the Central Time, so that's 7 p.m. Central Time. So for the pair of teams, they look ready to show movement in the standings, but they suddenly headed in the wrong direction. That's what's going on with both teams in this matchup. I really this one is really a hard one for me to choose. I really have to say that this game is really going to be a difficult game to pick between the two because they're, like I said, they're both I don't know, they're both under 500 as I stated. And not only that, they're just both trying to find their way right now. It's kind of unfortunate for both teams. I like both teams. They're both good teams. Last year we know Carolina was so close to almost breaking or tying or breaking or going, should I say, going undefeated last year. Let's just say they almost went undefeated. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. They almost went undefeated last year. So, this is definitely not what what people who are Carolina fans expected of the Carolina Panthers this year. I have a buddy, matter of fact, the one who's supposed to be on here with me, Dion One Time Weaver. He's a huge Carolina fan. He's from Carolina. And before the beginning of the season, he was like, "Oh yeah, Carolina's going back to the Super Bowl." And I'm saying, "Are you sure?" They lost a couple of people here and there, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we going back." It was a fluke because Denver beat them last year. Well, it doesn't look that way. It really doesn't look that way for the Carolina Panthers right now. I'm sure they won't even get a wild card at the rate in which they're going right now. They're 3-6, so I'm sure they won't even have a chance to make it at all. Even if they win out, I don't think they can even make a wild card push to the playoffs. Do know that Carolina, which dropped a 41-38 decision last month at New Orleans, so avoiding a sweep is something crucial for Carolina. So that has to be put in consideration, being that Carolina already lost once to the Saints. So being that they lost once, I can't see them losing again, but they could. I mean, who's to say? We never know. Just because of the way the Panthers are playing right now, they're just not playing as well as they should in their conference, their NFC South. So they need this win. But so does New Orleans. New Orleans needs this win as well. New Orleans is still in the hunt for probably at least a playoff push, if they could probably win out throughout the rest of this season. At least, and if not, at least a wild card chip. That way they can probably sneak in somehow into the playoffs. But I am going to go ahead and make my predictions. Please feel free to chime in if anybody that's watching my Power 3 podcast and wants to know or has any input in regards to this game. But I'm going to go ahead and pick the Panthers to win this game over New Orleans. Being that they are playing in Carolina, I'm going to pick the Panthers over New Orleans Saints. So I'm going to pick the Panthers to beat the New Orleans Saints 35-34. 35-34 Panthers over the Saints in this NFC South matchup in Thursday night football. So with that being said, that's my prediction. I will come back later, hopefully, and be able to let y'all know about the rest of this weekend's or this Week 11 predictions. Like I said, I apologize for those that have been looking out for my podcast, for the Power 3 podcast, looking for my predictions with college as well as NFL. I've been a bit busy, but I'm back. I'm here. I'm going back to what I used to do, going back to giving you my predictions for the college and for the NFL. So with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for those that stayed with me, didn't unsubscribe from me, and stayed along and was waiting, anticipating my return. I really, really thank you. I salute you. Hats off to you. Thank you so much. Continue to watch. For those that was watching the Power 3 podcast for the very first time, please hit the subscribe now button. Like, share, do whatever it is you like to do. If you like what you see, you like what you hear, you love my predictions and things of that nature, please come back and watch for my predictions. Like I say, I do college, I do NFL, I do a lot of things in regards to my podcast. So please continue to stay tuned for my podcast. Again, I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a great Thursday. Please enjoy Thursday night football, as we're about 2.5 hours away from kickoff from the Panthers versus the Saints in week 11, starting week 11. Again, thank each and every one of y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a blessed Thursday. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you real soon. It's your boy Sean Bishop from the Power 3 podcast. It's your boy. I'm out.